Howdy, howdy, and welcome back to Gale FFTCG. I'm Serah, your host, and today we'll be looking at the top 4 Earth cards by rarity. So, if you've seen the other two videos, you know how this works. I just pick one card from Common, Rare, Heroic, and Legendary, and talk about them and what I think they could be done with in, in constructive formats and in draft and all that sort of stuff. I'm pretty excited about Earth this time around. Again, hilariously, the cards that are really standing out to me the most are the Heroics and below. I think the Legends are definitely ones that need testing and might be better than I'm making them out to be in this video. But it's, it's okay. I think it's important to I think it's important to give things a chance and test them out. So, without further ado, we'll just fire right in. So in our common slot, we have Amber. And if you watched my fire video, you'll know exactly why this card is here. 4 CP, EX Burst. It's a Soiree member. And when Amber enters the field, you can search for a Madame Adele or Job Morze's Soiree member and add it to your hand. So you can search the fire backup, which is Opus, which I talked about in another video. And you can just add it to your hand straight away. Again, this is targetable off of X-Star, and it's an EX burst, so you can basically draw a card. I think this card is great, and I think it will see some interesting play, certainly. At least in Fire Earth decks. I think it's cool to have that Fire Earth have, a viable engine that is outside of the Category 11 engine that we've previously seen. But yeah, I think this card is going to be a lot of fun to play with, and I cannot wait to build a deck with it. In our rare slot, we have Sophie. And I know Sophie has left a bad taste in people's mouth, but I think, honestly, this time around, this is a really cool card. So, if Sophie deals damage to a forward due to an ability, you double that damage instead. This just has Fight Club type decks written all over it. It's like, cool, I want a Hecaton Care because now I'm dealing 10k instead of, only 5. It is 2 CP 5k, just in case that matters. It's not a monk, which is kind of a bummer, but I think it's kind of, it's worth that. I think it's okay if it's not a monk. Pardon me, it's a bit late now. While I'm recording these, I'm trying to get them done as fast as possible for all of you lovely folks at home. Its second line of text is when you cast a character of cost 5 or more, choose one forward opponent controls, deal it damage equal to Sophie's power. This effect will only trigger once per turn. That does happen on your opponent's turn if you can somehow cast a character of 5 or more. I don't think there's a back attack of 5 or less. Or 5 or more. Pardon me. But yeah, I think this card is really strong. I think the strength of the card really is that it's really cheap. If your opponent wants to kill it, that's fine. But if they leave it on the field, they have to respect that Sophie is going to be in a list that is going to make the most of those abilities. And I think that's really important for a lot of cards, is cards that make your opponent think or play around them. Like Amaterasu is the same way. And there's a lot of cards this set, I think, that are that way. So, yeah, I really rate this card, and I think it's a cool rare. In our Heroic slot is Montleonis, 4 CP, 9k, which is always great. It's a job prince, so it is searchable, which is even better. You can activate the ability, and by paying 0, which means you're just basically saying the cost of it, you just say, I'm going to activate this ability, and that's you paid the cost. And during this turn, the next damage dealt to Montleonis by a summon or an ability becomes 0 instead. You can only use this ability once per turn. But this is so clutch. It's such a critical ability. Basically, you can stop fire at any point. Your opponent goes, cool, I'm going to play down my Sasano or my whatever, Philia board wipes. I'm going to play all my board wipes, and I'm just going to knock you out. And you're just like, okay, no, I'm not going to take any damage. That's such a strong ability, and I think Montleonis is so strong for having that. You can only activate it once per turn, but that's also on your opponent's turn, so that's really important. The once per turn thing is really cool. We also have Taunting Blade, which is a special. One I think is really relevant. You can choose up to 2 forwards opponent controls. You deal them 9k, and you can only do this while Montleonis is attacking. But the fact that Montleonis, famously cards tend to basically be a thing of, oh, if I have to wait till I attack, I'm just kind of worthless. Montleonis, if you have another copy in hand, you can literally go, okay, I'm going to wait until I attack, and I can still survive before I have to attack. Being able to survive an initial burst of something is a really powerful ability, and I think Montleonis is the perfect card for that type of thing. You're definitely going to be counterplaying a lot of fire decks with this card, and I think it's good that fire has a little bit of a kind of a check for it, and I think it will see play for a long time. Now, I was talking about our legends, and honestly, I was not jazzed by the Karen legend. I think it's a fun concept, but I don't think it's generally overall good. I think it's very good in specific list. So, naturally, the pick had to be the Opus 6 Aerith, and honestly, there's a lot to read on this, so we'll just fire straight ahead. It's 2 CP, 5k, category 7, Earth forward. The forwards, other than Aerith, gain plus 2k. And when Aerith is put from the field into the break zone, you can remove it from the game. And when you do so, you place 3 re-raise counters at the beginning of each main phase. If you have one or more counters on Aerith, you can remove one. And then, if there are no re-raise counters, you can play Aerith back on the field. It basically just never dies. And obviously the effect only works if Aerith is removed. But it's so... I think this card is stronger than I'm giving it credit for, but right now just a 2k power buff just seems a bit I really think the legend part just comes from the fact it's an Aerith, and I also think the legend part has to do with the fact it's basically an unkillable forward. How good that will be really remains to be seen, but it's at least interesting enough that I think it deserves its legend slot here. And with that, the video has wrapped up to a close. Let me know in the comments what Earth cards you are super hyped to see and what you might be building in this next Opus. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your feelings on certain cards. Maybe you absolutely love some of the cards I picked. Maybe you absolutely hate them. Maybe you think they're too good. Maybe you think they're just really, really bad. But yeah, have a great day and a great rest of your week. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. That really helps a lot. But yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.